Now, there's no doubt about it that by far one of the greatest mistakes by Netflix right now was by allowing her to obtain multiple one-off projects, whether it was the Christmas special or other specials out there like the traveling series. We'll talk more about that as well. But what's interesting here has a lot more to do with exactly what's been going on between Meghan Markle, Ted Sarandos, and overall the executives, the producers, the many board of directors over there at Netflix HQ, and exactly what's going on between all of them, and exactly what Meghan Markle got caught doing yet again in the midst of all the Netflix drama. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Meghan Markle right now is that yes, we do know that she is trying to essentially salvage whatever is left of her career, if you even want to say that she has a career at this point in Hollywood or in the film industry. Practically any studio out there doesn't even want to give Meghan Markle a second. Of course, whether it's a negotiation or even considering giving her a role, a lot of studios want nothing to do with her ever again or if at all. But focusing on Netflix here, this is where things begin to really go out of control, and it really just goes to show you exactly how much drama there really is, not just with Meghan, but also, of course, with the Netflix executives over there and what they're putting up with. Now, we know one thing is that ever since she lost her executive producer position, she has actually lost her office over at Netflix. That's been cleared out, and everything else in between. Now, interestingly enough, yet again, we know that Netflix is pretty much going through an internal struggle right now. There is a lot of division going on between those high up in the corporate ladder. However, with Meghan Markle still dealing with the public backlash due to her recent reactions to the Season 2 ratings disaster and more, one significant development that is going on now involves more to do with Meghan Markle getting caught in yet another act as Season 2's press tour begins to wrap up. Now, it turns out that with Season 2 now clearing way for the holiday special, and Meghan's office still getting cleared out since she lost her executive producer position for multiple projects, it turns out that Netflix executives discovered that Meghan Markle stole multiple properties connected to Netflix, including a series of props, wardrobe pieces, and even jewelry intended for the use of other Netflix projects. It turns out one massive discovery that took place at Netflix involved how executives were trying to track down a series of missing objects that were used for With Love Meghan Season 2, both for the existing footage and for the deleted scenes. Now, shockingly, they discovered in Meghan Markle's office, and even in her own trailer, that she had stored expensive jackets, necklaces, rings, and even boxes of wine again, all of which were actually being prepared to be stored in her vehicle for departure as Season 2 sets are being cleared out. Meghan was recently confronted by Netflix execs and even Ted Sarandos about her taking those items and her intentions to leave with them on the set, and to her defense, get this, she claims that she was told that she was allowed to take these items home to her knowledge. Netflix made it ultimately clear to her that what she did was completely out of line and outright wrong. They also discovered very expensive prop pieces for the show that were used in some of the deleted scenes. The items ranged from expensive shoes and other forms of attire that were stored away in boxes and containers that Meghan had prepared to actually be stored in her own residence. Netflix informed her that these items were going to be repurposed and actually reused for other Netflix exclusive shows and movies down the line. Meghan was reportedly frightened when she was confronted and easily gave up all of the boxes and containers that were filled with all these objects immediately that were just about to be shipped to her own residence. To make matters even worse for Meghan's sake is that practically everyone over at Netflix HQ learned about this recent drama and fiasco to the point that it rattled throughout the entire studio. Now, guys, let me just say one thing about Meghan Markle. The fact that she believes that she's all high and mighty, that she can do whatever she wants to and do whatever she pleases, the fact that she actually had all this stored away and getting ready to be shipped to her own residence, it really just goes to show you that she believes that Netflix wouldn't have noticed, that they would have actually not actually noticed any of their items missing or anything like that. Now, she doesn't really realize that a lot of props, wardrobe pieces, stuff like that, they are usually always repurposed, reused for a lot of other projects. That's just typical when it comes to a lot of television programs and even movies, etc. And that's exactly what happens. So I think what she did in the long run is that her defense is very weak. She claims that she was told, quote unquote, that she was allowed to bring some of these items home, and in reality she was just trying to get away with, or to see what she can get away with. That's basically what was going down. Now, we know one thing about Ted Sarandos is that there's a lot of backlash going on surrounding Ted Sarandos right now. We talked about this earlier. This is exactly why a lot of executives and producers have had it with Ted Sarandos, is because, well, they are actually putting up with all of the drama, all because of Ted. If it weren't for Ted Sarandos and over half the board of directors over there, trust me, Meghan Markle would not be president at Netflix. She would not be creating any kind of backlash. In fact, she is the main reason why there is a lot of division going on in the corporate ladder over at Netflix HQ. And it's not just, of course, related to Meghan Markle, but it's related to those that support Meghan Markle. We're talking about Ted and the many board of directors over there, well over half of them that are on Ted's side. Now, moving on, it got so bad to the point that those that once trusted and looked up to Meghan at Netflix are now turning the other way and are reportedly staying distant from her. Now, this involves many of the cast members that are set to work on the Christmas special with Meghan. Executives and producers already fire back at Ted Sarandos for encouraging Meghan Markle to believe that she can get away with anything that she wants, and this in turn stirred up another wave of internal backlash for Ted Sarandos over at Netflix. Now, Netflix is reportedly also going to do cost cutting for the Christmas special by cutting back $6.2 million from the budget of this new special that is going to be over an hour long in length so far. Now, again, I mean, like I said before in the past, we know that Meghan Markle is very narcissistic, self-absorbed, and she will never admit what she did was wrong. She will never admit what she did was obviously a form of theft. And we already know that she's done this before in the past. We talked about how she had wine boxes stored away when it came to, objects that were used on the set for With Love Meghan Season 2, either for existing scenes or deleted material, same exact situation, except this time it was worse. Now you're trying to get away with attire, jewelry, wardrobe pieces, prop pieces, I mean, the list goes on and on. That were all stored away in containers/boxes in her abandoned office and in her abandoned trailer as well. And look, we know at the same exact time, this is exactly why people are beginning to wake up to Netflix and their shenanigans. They are overspending on a lot of their projects, especially the Meghan Markle projects. Thankfully, seemingly no more, because they are cutting back on her pay drastically. We talked about this as well, how her payout, which was going to range in multiple millions of dollars, right? $5 million, $6 million here and there for certain projects, have now been reduced to hundreds of thousands of dollars, which is still a lot. I mean, let's be honest about that, but it's greatly reduced. Hence, they're spending far less money on Meghan Markle projects. But overall, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about all of this below in the comments. Anything ranging from the whole Meghan Markle fiasco to what she recently got caught doing. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. And I will catch you guys later.